Man, the New York Rangers were a massive disappointment in 2024-25. I mean, they were just 1 year removed from being the President's Trophy winners and being one series away from making the Stanley Cup Finals. They fired their underperforming coach and hired a proven champion in Mike Sullivan. And this team is so talented, I'm sure that they're going to turn things around this. Oh, dear God. What the hell happened to the New York Rangers? And the first signs that things were going to go wrong for the New York Rangers actually came before the season even began with some of their big moves of the offseason, most notably trading Chris Kreider to the Anaheim Ducks, as well as K'Andre Miller to the Carolina Hurricanes. Now for Kreider, it's pretty simple. The Rangers basically did a full dump of the contract, trading him to the Ducks for prospect Carey Terrence and a third-round pick. Now Terrence isn't really seen as one of the Ducks' higher-end prospects, and that third-round pick is basically worth nothing, so they were just really trying to get rid of the remainder of Chris Kreider's $6.5 million salary both for this year and next. But Kreider has been very good in Anaheim despite missing some time with an injury. On the season, he has 21 goals and 39 points in 56 games, and those 39 points would be third on the Rangers behind only Mika Zibanejad and Vinny Trocheck. Of course, Artemi Panarin would be ahead of him before he was traded. But most importantly, Kreider has been maybe the Ducks' best forward when it comes to tilting the ice with two-way play, posting the second highest on-ice expected goal differential of any player on the Anaheim Ducks behind only Cutter Gauthier. And for the Rangers, who have struggled to score so mightily this year, they definitely could have used Chris Kreider to help with that. Now for K'Andre Miller, he has not been great for the Carolina Hurricanes, but he has been good in one major respect, and that's eating ice time. He leads the Hurricanes in percent share of expected ice time, and even though his numbers aren't great for Carolina, he's still a positive possession player, and he's been a very steady defenseman for them, and there's no reason to think he couldn't be that for the New York Rangers while eating a lot of minutes, which is huge because the second big thing that happened to the New York Rangers, which really derailed them, is losing Adam Fox for an extended period of time. I know that he is a kind of controversial figure amongst Rangers fans, but the fact of the matter is he is still one of the 5 best defensemen in the NHL when he is playing. And I know that hasn't been often, but this year he is unquestionably the best player on the New York Rangers since Panarin's been traded. Not only does he lead all Rangers defensemen in points despite the fact that he missed almost half the season, he is also far and away this team's best driver of possession, and his injury has also had the unintended consequence of putting a lot more strain on the Rangers' biggest offseason acquisition, Vlad Gavrikov. Even though I didn't think that the Gavrikov contract was that bad, and he's definitely a very serviceable number 2/number 3 defenseman, calling on him to play number 1 minutes has been a really bad result for the Rangers this year. The dude is getting completely caved in defensively, in part because he's having to eat a lot of very tough minutes with Fox out, and he's just not a driver of transition offense for this Rangers team, which is coincidentally an area where Adam Fox excels. And another area where Adam Fox excels is scoring. As I mentioned, he's been quite the contributor in his limited ice time this year, and with him out for the year, as well as Chris Kreider being traded in the offseason and now Panarin gone, the Rangers are just starving for somebody to be contributing on the score sheet. Right now, Mika Zibanejad is leading the way in terms of scoring, but he's the only player on this Rangers team who has scored 20 goals this year. They might only get 3 or 4 20-goal scorers this season. And a lot of that has fallen on the 2 young guys who the Rangers kind of expected to step up and take on bigger roles with Kreider now gone, namely Will Cooley and Alexis Lafreniere. For Cooley, he's still pretty young, and this year has been fairly consistent with his pace last year and the year before, but for Lafreniere, it is looking really rough for his development right now. The word bust is being thrown around a lot for the former number 1 overall pick. It is looking a lot more likely that he is a 70-point ceiling guy than developing into an 80, 90-point guy consistently. But what made things fall off the cliff this badly? Is it the new coach, Mike Sullivan? Well, honestly, I don't think so, because hold on to your seats. I actually don't think the Rangers have gotten worse from where they were when they were President's Trophy winners. I think they were always just a bad team that had gotten lucky. If you look at the expected goal ratio at 5v5 for this year, which is one of the best indicators for a team's control of play, the Rangers this year are 21st at around 48%. Last year, they were 48% and change, slightly lower than they are this year, but the year before that, when they won the President's Trophy, they were at 49%, around 21st again, and same for the year before that, 48.4%. The Rangers have never really been a great possession team. They've relied heavily on Igor Shesterkin just being an absolute god, which he still is, and their special teams being dominant. But at their core, they've never really been a solid, dominant team in terms of possessing the puck and tilting the ice in their favor. And when you look at their PDO, which is a measure of puck luck, they've been consistently a top 5 to 10 team in that metric the last few years. But this year, they're right in the middle of the pack. They're 16. They've just kind of regressed to the mean and become what they should have been the last few years. But this is kind of what the Rangers are. They were a very top-heavy team with some flashy, high-end players like Fox and Panarin carrying them. And now that Panarin's gone and Fox has been out, and now that they've lost some secondary scoring over the offseason, they're just not looking like a very well-constructed team. Their young players haven't developed, they don't have any secondary scoring, and their defense has relied far too heavily on Shesterkin for too long. The Rangers have a lot of work to do this offseason, and the biggest question going into it is going to be, do we trust Chris Drury to be the man to execute that vision? Rangers fans are understandably skeptical based on some of the moves he's made in the past, and judging by where this roster has been over the last few years, I'd say the skepticism is more than warranted. And unfortunately, I don't see it getting much better, and it could get much worse.